He says, it really hit me hard the day that I went to shop at Target with my wife. And when I walked out, I made more money than I spent because he had built up a passive income business. So Blair, why don't you set it up, what the context of this is? And one of the things that excites me about talking to you specifically is because we mostly speak to designers, but we are starting to develop a following with musicians and artists like that. And so they always ask me, like, so how do I do this for my industry? And they can't make that jump between A and B. So I think you're the prime example here. And you just told me you love playing music, drums specifically. And there's an educational desire for you to like teach and share what it is that you know too, right?
Right.
And so it's the goal of the call today, maybe to help you figure out a business model where you can combine those two things and actually make a little bit of money too.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it together. I am a professional drummer in Los Angeles for like over 20 years. I've toured with a lot of people. I've recorded with a lot of people. I built a home studio. I do work out of here. This is my primary source of income, recording drums for different artists. And I also have an educational site called Sticks and Wires. And I've been creating content for YouTube and Patreon. And I'm currently literally working on a Vimeo page to sell content.
What kind of content are you selling?
It's recording tutorials, focusing on drums, and it's meant for drummers, engineers, and producers, and mainly people who have home studios who maybe don't have training.
The site that you mentioned earlier, Sticks and Wires, is that an educational platform where people can buy your courses?
Yes.
How much are the courses on average?
I don't know yet. This is what I'm working on.
Oh, it's brand new.
I'm literally building it. I mean, this is the moment we're in. I'm at home building it. Yes.
I see. Yes. Okay. This is very good. All right.
Yes. So pricing is part of my thing here. Like what's reasonable, you know, for me and for whoever's out there.
Do you have a goal for how much money you want to generate through this educational thing that you're about to embark on for the end of the year? Like it'd be nice if I did this amount of sales.
Well, I would say if I made 10 grand, I would be super happy.
Okay, so we're in March here, January, February, March. We have 9 months left. That's not a terribly high number to hit, and there's a lot of ways to hit that number. Because if I look at it, it's just a little over $1,000 a month into the end of the year.
Right.
You could do this, and there's lots of ways to do this. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I'm doing, and then while you're listening to that, perhaps you can just make a note of what seems like, yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay.
Right. So we have this educational company. It's called the Futur, and we make money doing a lot of different things. And the thing that drives the biggest amount of revenue for us is the sales of courses. And we have a number of courses, and some are video-based, and some are merely electronic booklets that we sell. And they range from price from $49 up into $500, and there's an even bigger package that's out there that's like $5,000. And we're finding that a mix of products and price points helps people, because they're not going to make a giant purchase without knowing who you are and the quality of instruction, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I would recommend thinking of your course in like mini courses and selling those at a smaller price point. That somebody's like, yeah, I can try this. It's a disposable income. Let's just say it's $50. Anything at $100 should sell pretty well, because it's kind of within that range of, yeah, I could risk $100 with this person.
Okay.
And then your course is going to then contain 8, 10, 12 of these modules. And you bundle that together, you're going to sell that for a little less. So let's just say for an even 12, let's say, and I'm just speaking numbers and ideas, and you have to scale this for what you think, okay? So it could be much higher, it could be a lot lower. So 12 courses at $100 each should sell for $1,200 as the master class. But what I would do is then just price that at, say, $9.99. So you can try a course for $99, a mini course, and they'll teach you fundamentals of whatever it is that you're doing. But if you want to, you can just buy the whole thing. And you can even structure it such that you go ahead and try a course, and if you like it, I'll credit you towards the purchase of the bundle. Now, you're employing a lot of different concepts here that we've learned by either doing it ourselves, reading a book, or talking to people who've been very successful doing this. When you have such a big number and it's reduced in price, they feel a little better because they feel like they're already saving $300 just out of the gate. And they also see value in that, oh, each individual part is worth this. The entire bundle is worth even more. So you'll see people do outrageous bundles where the total value of it is like $3,700, and they're going to sell the whole thing to you for $499. It's a trigger for a lot of people, and it works. And if people are risk averse, they just try one and they like it, they don't like it, then they don't have to risk any more money. Right. So that's the first part. And that's probably going to be your primary income revenue machine here. But there's other ways to make money. Now, we have a coaching group of 300 people that tune in every single week to do a coaching call with us. There's a huge video archive library of calls in the past that are organized, and they pay us $150 a month to be part of this group. For the year, it's a little less. I think it's the cost of 10 months versus 12 months. And so you can see like that can add up really fast. Because $300 times, say, even $100, it's $30,000 a month for us in recurring revenue. So that's a subscription model. And that also generates quite a bit of money for us. And then through the different content platforms that we have, through YouTube right now, we're averaging about $10,000, $12,000 a month in revenue from YouTube, just in ad revenue. The key is to get lots of views on your video. So you could easily, I think, achieve your goal by just focusing your energy on making great YouTube content. You'd never have to sell a course again if you don't want to. And if you get enough views on it, you should be able to make, a couple $1,000 a month, and that'll surpass your goal. Now, we know of people who do $100,000 a month in ad revenue alone, but they have ginormous amounts of views, but the content that they're creating commands a high ad rate. So if you do something that technology companies or big manufacturers want to advertise on your channel, you're going to do a lot better. Since we're a design channel, we get things like Wix and Fiverr advertising, and they're not going to bid a very high ad rate for our audience. Our demo is not appealing to them. Something to think about. We make money through sponsorships too, and through affiliate deals. So I'll talk about what those two things are. So companies do give us money to mention them on our podcast or on a YouTube episode. And the price can range from anywhere from a few $1,000s to over $10,000 per episode. Again, you can hit your goal with one thing. Now, podcast rates are a lot lower than our YouTube videos, but it all is like a lot of little buckets that collect a little bit of rain, and they all equal something. Okay. Yep. So next up is affiliate deals, which is you help to promote other people's courses or things that make sense. For example, if you're doing this and the brand of cymbals that you're using or the drum kit or the sticks, somebody wants to have you do something with them, you make a percentage on every purchase that you send their way. So you sign up on our program, the points can range anywhere between 10% to as much as 50% of the sale itself. So you are kind of their organic, trusted expert who's going to say, these are the sticks that I use, or whatever it is that you use, or this is the sound foam that I use to insulate my room. All that stuff can actually add up to be quite a bit. So those are some of the major ways. People donate money to us too. That is very similar to the Patreon model, except for we don't use Patreon. They just give us money. And I've been trying something out right now where I tell people what my Venmo address is. And I just say, hey, if you like this episode, give me some money. Help this move forward. Wow. And people do donate. It's kind of cool because we built up enough goodwill with people that they do this.
Wow.
Yeah, like some people have given me like decent amounts of money before, like $500. I'm like, that's almost too generous. Thank you. If you don't have a huge audience and you're not one of those household names, then what you need to do is you need to build your audience, because once your audience falls in love with you, they'll buy anything that you make just to support you because they want to see you win. You're one of them. They're one of you. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'll give you an example. I don't ever envision myself as being a writer, but I keep getting requests for a book. But because I've built up the audience over time, and it's taken some time now, right? That when I went to kickstart my book project, I told the guys, my team, if it doesn't raise $20,000, I'm not interested in doing this because it's a waste of my time. It's a lot of work to write a book. Well, we blew past that goal really quickly, and we wound up somewhere north of $70,000 for a book. I'm not a writer. So when you make the course sometimes is the distraction. It's actually the audience is the core goal that you're trying to get. And then you give them a vehicle to say thank you to you. So the courses then become like, oh, of course I'll buy this. I don't even watch it. I just want to see Blair succeed. Right. Or when you set up your Patreon account at that point, they're like, yeah, please keep doing this. My kids love watching this, or whatever it is.
But let me ask you, part of me was thinking well, maybe I need to, because the Patreon thing for me, I think it's reasonable, like $10 a month. And I put up at least 3 to 4 videos. which are like 20 minutes and they have a lot of content. And if you take that single video, that could be like months of work, like that you experiment with, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to me, that's like high value for not a lot of money. But I think people look at $10 a month, which doesn't seem like anything to me. Maybe it's because, it's drummers or maybe, who knows, whatever. Are there things that you think are more valuable that you sell for more? The content of the video?
Yes.
Or, because I would like to say that like, hey, these 8 videos are worth $100 or these 8 videos are worth $80.
Right.
Do you play with that, or what do you think the way you find out the right thing, the right pricing point for it, things like that?
Yeah. So there's no easy answer for this. Even the articulation of your question is kind of like, oh, let me figure this out. There's even worse answer for you. And generally speaking, I feel that the more well-known you are, the less price matters. And the less well-known you are, the more price matters. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to get more well-known first, and the price will sort itself out. Now, in terms of like what people find to be valuable, if you sell me a product that I know I can make money on, I will pay you all kinds of money for it. So the benefit to me buying the course or supporting you, if there's a financial benefit for me, I'm going to give you money.
Right.
So that's why I mentioned some things like how to get your first paid gig as a musician, or how to approach the band of your dreams, to whatever it is. It's like I see the potential to me as a benefit right away. Or how to sell loops. And here's how I made X dollars selling these loops. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. And I'm going to take you through step by step. If you're going to teach them how to set up your drum kit or how to play this one thing, there's benefit for them in the long run. But people, they think short term. And so it's always harder to kind of get that money out of their hands.
Huh.
So I have a friend, his name is Ron Segal, and he sells a class on web design. And he says like the $10,000 website, and he priced the thing for $400, let's say. So he's going to teach you how to build a $10,000 website for $400. So the value is kind of baked into it already without even him having to market, because that's what he calls it. It's a $10,000 course for $4. It's like the Carl's Jr. the $7 burger for like $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you just kind of get it. So there's a couple of ways that you can handle this. The first thing that you can do is you can kind of create a course that's like silhouetted, kind of like a drum kit that's all black. Like we're not announcing anything yet, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't even buy it, but there's going to be something there. And you can just say, sign up for my newsletter. That's as simple. Like your transactions happen over a period of time, microtransactions first, like watch this video, click on this, subscribe to that, and then buy the course. So each time they're making some deeper level of commitment to you and to potentially buying the course. And that's probably a better way to sell versus like here's a video, go buy this. I don't know if a lot of people are going to follow the link nor buy the course right now.
Right.
So you could make, like you said, $10,000 by the end of the year. You can make that in the launch of your course in November, in like a matter of a couple of days.
I see. Right.
Right. So there's a lot of ways to get to 10,000 and to blow way past that. I think if anything I've learned in the last 5-6 years in a 25-year career here is that the audience is everything. When they show up for you, when this community comes around to kind of share your ideas and your videos and they tell their friends about it, you hit something really, really valuable.
Right.
Right. So you could launch your course at whatever price you want and have it available and see if it catches anybody. But you might hit gold. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but my suspicion is that I don't know if people are ready to buy it right away.
Right. Right.
Right?
I get it. Yeah, to build a relationship.
Yeah, build a relationship. Don't try and close on the first date.
Right.
But at least have them sign up for your email. That way you have a database.
Right. And the email thing, does it need to be weekly? The newsletter thing, with the weekly thing, the monthly thing?
For now, maybe bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Tell them a story.
Right.
And don't sell them anything. And after a while, I really like getting your emails. This is really cool.
Interesting. The story thing is interesting because I always find the newsletter thing tricky. Like, oh, this is what I'm working on. And I'm sitting there going like, I'm not even interested in this. It was work for me this week. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, what do I talk about? The story thing is interesting. Like I could talk about stories from sessions I've done with, famous artists or whatever.
Oh, people will eat that stuff up.
Yeah. That would make it more interesting for me. And obviously, if I'm interested, they're going to be more interested.
Yeah. You personally have to be interested because you care the most. And if you're not interested, you're like, oh my God, who's going to be interested in it, right?
Yeah. That's a really interesting idea. Okay.
I mean, go back into your archives. You've been doing this for a while. There's a treasure trove in your archives of stories that you can tell that are very personal about like a dumb decision you made, a smart decision you made, that one time that you got fired by this band or that band, or there's tons of stuff you can dig up and just tell it in your own style and tone. And really, if you get really good at that and that newsletter gets a lot of opens, then tell that story on camera. See, I like to test all my ideas. I want to do the least amount of work, the minimum viable product, and see what works. And I only make hits I only make things that are hits to begin with. And that's how I test everything.
The hardest part is getting it off the ground. I feel like I'm, if the ground is here, I'm like here, and you're here. It's like, okay, just go like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have a very realistic goal that you could hit. And you might even surprise yourself 2 months into this, that YouTube ad revenue already is on track. And you're like, well, new opportunities now. Other things that you can sell that are very low commitment are drum loops or things that you already make. Just there's a book. It's called Rework, and it's written by the founders of 37 Signals, the guys who created Basecamp, the software. Okay. And they're like, do a garage sale. Look in your inventory of things, the digital assets that you have already owned and created. Sell some of those things. You might find a business in that. What do I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a graphic designer, right? So I have thousands of textures, files, and brushes that I have. I have templates. I have presentations. I have case studies. I have all kinds of things I've made. They all just sit on my hard drive collecting the figurative or dust, And what we do is now we build case studies and then we package them up and we sell them, because out there in the world, people are not seeing case studies at the level in which we're working with our clients. So that just generates money for us and it builds goodwill. So we started taking our legal forms and saying, look, we've cleaned these up. We've done as much as we can to templatize them for you and prepared them in Word docs so that you don't have to hire an attorney at $400 an hour for a number of days, and just use these. So your kind of archive of things that are sitting there collecting dust, you can just package and sell.
A lot of this just becomes like, how much time do you have on your hands to get all this stuff?
E-commerce portal, which you're going to need to do anyways, I think that's lower hanging fruit than writing a course and packaging it up and editing it. It's way easier to sell that. So once you set that up, cleaning up a few files, putting a nice thumbnail and a description of, you'll get 18 like real instrument loops for me, including a hi-hat, snare drum, whatever it is. I don't know.
Right. Drum samples, whatever.
Drum samples, like from things on projects I've worked on for XYZ bands and what I've done in my career. Have real analog recordings or high quality, a 12-bit sound, whatever. And once you set that up, it just becomes one of your many, many buckets. And it gets people used to pulling out the credit card and saying, yeah, I'm for this.
Right. So let me ask you this. Do most people do this all on their own?
Almost everybody that I know that's kind of where you're at, they do it on their own until it starts to become like, whoa, this is a real business. And then they bring people on to help them.
And you just kind of know when that is.
You'll know. Because wow, this is working out way better than I thought. But if you have more money than time, you can, of course, hire people to do this. But now you're spending money.
Right. Yeah, I don't have more money than time.
Okay.
Nor do I have the time either, but...
Well, you'll make some time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like I said, you don't have to do much. You can literally set up a page and collect emails, and that's it. Let people know who you are, what your intentions are, put a face to the name and all that kind of stuff, and collect their email. And that's all you're doing. Just to let you know, like, how your life can change, right? And I don't want to paint too rosy of a picture here, but
sure.
I've been making YouTube content since 2014 with a friend of mine. Just like, I don't know, let me try this thing. Mm-hmm. So he and I started a company, but it didn't work out. 2.5 years later, I start this company called The Futur. So we've been in business now for 4 years. Last year, we did $3.1 million just doing what I'm telling you to do. So now I have a company of 12.
You and another partner?
Just me. But I have 12 people who work for me. I had a partner at one point. I don't have a partner anymore.
Okay.
I have 12 people who work for me. And then I have another 3 people who work off site. And this is what we do. And we just like, let's do this today. And basically I went from working in the service industry, selling creative services like making commercials and music videos for large corporations. I went from that to like doing, like we go to work whenever we want, we go home whenever we want. Deadlines are what we set. And all we have to do is look at the revenue stream that comes in every single day. And that money comes in whether or not we show up or not. It's a pretty amazing thing. I interviewed this guy. His name is Dustin Lee. He has a company. He makes like texture packs, illustration kits, and things like that. He says, it really hit me hard the day that I went to shop at Target with my wife. And when I walked out, I made more money than I spent because he had built up a passive income business. And it was like, for him, I was like magic.
Right.
And that's what it's like for me too now, because I just look at our reports and every single day we know how much money comes in. It's like, this is pretty cool. I just think you need to start moving with a plan, probably because maybe if you were trying to figure this out by yourself, you'd go through all the trials and tribulations that we went through.
Right. So
I'm giving you the shortcut path 6 years into this business, what we've learned so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, man.
All right. So Blair, good luck with this. And I wish you the very best. And I hope that by the end of the year, you're going to report back to me and say, wow, dude, I smashed that sucker. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Chris.
My pleasure.